Gameplay Storytime with Max Monster.
What's up, everybody? It's Max Monster. Thank you so much for joining us on our very first video upload. It means the world that you are here. So I just want to start off by thanking you from the bottom of my heart. In case you're wondering what this page is going to be about, we're going to do some gameplay here from some of my favorite games, overlaid by story time from different events that I've experienced, my friends, my family, or just other world events that I think are really worth talking about. So, without any further ado, I want to just jump right into it here, starting with one of my favorite games of all time, Civilization VI. It is just an absolute blast to play. If you enjoy tabletop gaming at all, I highly recommend it. It's got one hell of a learning curve, but once you figure it out, man, you will not regret it. So, the story I'm going to share with you is, I would argue, just as memorable as this game because it takes on kind of a supernatural nature. Now, I want to preface this by saying I am not somebody that jumps to the supernatural as the explanation for everything. In fact, I would argue quite the opposite, that most things can be explained by logic, reason, science, but not necessarily everything. Now, I'm going to take you all back here to the summer of 2019. It was a really great year. You know, I had met my now wife that year. It was really just firing on all cylinders. I graduated college that year, and I was actually back in New England visiting my home region from college to work a summer job and, make a little money for myself along the way. It just ever so happened that my now wife and I had really hit it off, and we spent a lot of time together that summer. And it was on one of these evenings after work where we were hanging out. We were out for an evening drive. And if you've never been to a desolate region, specifically in the New England area, it can get real dark and it can get real desolate feeling if you're not used to that. And even for people who grew up in that type of area like I did, it can still feel that way. And maybe it was because of that that this story becomes even more chilling. So we were out driving in the middle of nowhere, just having a fun time driving around our local towns, seeing what there was to see, and listening to music and enjoying each other's company. And to our left, there was this large open swath of field. And in between the field and the road, there was a tiny little patch of woods. And then to our right was a mountain. Mountain is hillside with a full on woods in it of just hardwood. Now, I want to preface this also by saying it was about, we'll say, 11:30 p.m. midnight when this occurred. Uh, we looked up first up in the sky. It was a clear night. It was absolutely gorgeous. And we looked up and saw this kind of weird streakiness across the sky. Weird things happen, whether it be pollution or whatever it happens to be. Maybe it was some jet had gone by and left some funny colored stuff in the sky. Who knows? Uh, we didn't think too much of it. And then as I looked to my left, my headlights had just caught the glimmer of something in the field. Now, it was small and it had a set of eyes, and I knew immediately what it was. Like I said, growing up in kind of more of a rural area, I had been exposed to raccoons and opossums and a whole variety of other small woodland creatures that this could very easily be. And so to myself, I said, "Oh, whatever. It is what it is. It's just a little furry woodland creature. Isn't that cool?" I slowed down because it was running towards the direction of the woods and towards the road. And so I slowed down to let it cross. And as it does, that's when things took a bit of a bizarre turn. We looked out in front of us, and what I saw, to this day, I still cannot explain. I have no words for what I saw. There was, standing in front of us, a what appeared to be human baby, completely naked, but its proportions were wrong. It had these really, really thick, like almost muscular legs that, I don't know, were way bigger than they were supposed to be. And it had these pudgy little features. Its face was very, very, I don't know, soft looking, as was the rest of its body. But the thing that kind of screwed me up the most was it had, instead of regular length arms, it was almost like T-Rex arms. They were pulled into its body and they were small and frail, and they almost looked like they had some hooks on the end of them. Not like metal hooks, but like they hooked downward. And it was there and gone. It ran across the road incredibly fast. I mean, there was a moment where I was watching this and thought to myself, "Oh, it's just a figment of my imagination." It's very easily explainable. You know, all of that, everything you want to tell yourself in disbelief, because why wouldn't you believe that? Why would you think that this was something odd and unexplainable? There's tons of crazy different creatures that exist out there. Well, my friends, I if I was alone in this car and this happened, I could have done that. And to this day, I would be totally okay with accepting that. But the problem was, not only did this happen once, but there was a second one that ran across the road and up under the hill to join its little buddy. And for a moment, my now wife and I just kind of sat in silence. And I turned and looked at her and I said, before anything else, explain to me what you just saw, because I needed to hear her validate my thoughts or maybe invalidate it. And she described to me exactly the same thing that I saw, to the letter, to the T. And then, to make matters even better, she's an artist. We hung out next time and she drew a picture of what she had seen. And I'm not even joking. The comparison of her picture to this thing was, I mean, it was perfect. She did a perfect depiction of exactly what I had saw and what she had seen. Now, again, I don't want to jump to supernatural. I don't want to jump to this was aliens or this is some like baby Bigfoot or something like that. I think that notion is absurd, but I do think that this very well could have been an unidentified species. This could have been something that we just haven't encountered and documented in a professional way before. And I did quite a bit of research after this on this creature. I dug into, have other people seen this type of thing in the New England area? Have other people experienced and were able to describe as vividly as my wife and I were what this thing was? And there was a couple little documents that were very similar, but not quite exact to what we had encountered and what we had seen. But the closest thing I was able to find was a being that was known in a specific Native American tribe's mythos called the Pukwudgie. Now, the Pukwudgie is a weird little goblin-like creature that runs around and plays tricks on people. Of course, this thing that we saw, it wasn't there for long enough for us to really get a incredibly accurate view of all of its defined features. But from what I saw and what I read about, I don't believe it was this thing. Like I said, it's just the closest thing that I could come up with. I don't believe it is that, but it could be. But I don't know, guys. If you're listening to this and you have seen a weird little thing we have lovingly dubbed as the demon baby, please let me know. Please tell me so I can sleep a little bit better at night, because, man, these types of encounters, I don't want to say they keep me up at night, but it definitely left a lasting impression of what is possible and what is really known about the world, especially in rural areas. But this is just one man's take. Again, if you have encountered anything weird, anything supernatural, anything bizarre, even close to what I am talking about, please leave a comment. Please just let me know, so I I know my wife and I aren't crazy. But seriously, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to just this first episode. These are going to be pretty short bits here. I'm going to continue on playing Civilization VI, I believe, for some time and keep telling you these stories as they come along. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed what the format of this is. I know they're not very long. It doesn't take up too much time. So seriously, thanks again. I've said it about 5 times now, but I just want to let you know how grateful I am. I've always wanted to be a YouTuber and to bring content that people want to listen to and watch and enjoy. So seriously, guys, one last time with feeling, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to bringing you the next story. And if I hope to see you all there. If you want to reach out, I would love that. If you don't, that's totally fine. If you listen to this and it wasn't your cup of tea, hey, I get it too. There's a lot of really, really wonderful content out there that some really fantastic people have made. So seriously, guys, thank you so much one final time. And I hope to see you again soon. This has been Max Monster, and we'll talk to you later. See ya.